happy to introduce our next star on the sales team is Rahul Ramnath. He's our director of events. Rahul, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and big thing that you bring to the team?
Definitely. So my name is Raul Ramnath, aka Prince. I'm the director of events here at the Marriott Tulsa Southern Hills. And I have to say, the one thing that I bring to the team is my hardworking ethic, my hardworking ability. I believe that's one of the plus that I deliver to our sales team.
Okay. How long have you been in the hospitality? What did you do before coming into hospitality?
I actually started off in the hospitality field um, when I first moved to America. It was actually my first job. I started as a night auditor for a limited service hotel. And I kind of got burned out on that. And then I moved into the 3 to 11 shift for Mr. Ruffin over at the Radisson Hotel that he had first acquired about 20 years ago.
So you've been in the industry for quite some time,
I have, I
and
have.
you chose to stay in hospitality.
Yes, I have.
Give me a good reason why did you continue to be in hospitality?
I'll give you this really good, interesting story. When I first started for Mr. Ruffin back in the Radisson, um, I quickly developed a relationship with my colleagues at the front desk. One of the interesting facts that I enjoyed working at the front desk was back in those days, we had the contract for the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and those patients would stay with us. I soon started developing relationships with those clients and building a relationship. It brought me such a joy and a pleasure um, taking care of them, understanding their story, and learning where they came from to come all the way to Tulsa to stay at our hotel, to go to get the treatment, and then go back home.
Being compassionate, helping them meet their needs, that
Correct.
all
It brought
help
a
you.
yes, it brought a sense of fulfillment to
Yeah,
me and a
yeah.
joy and a pleasure in helping someone else.
Rahul, I know a lot goes into the prep work before a large event goes starts, right? Let's discuss a little bit about the preparations before and after a large event.
Clients don't see the timing that it takes to put in to get that successful event pulled off. The preparation from check-in to getting rooms set up to getting meals ready and prepped, working with the kitchen to make sure everything is executed flawlessly. Sometimes I may be in their face too much, but that's what I'm here for and that's my role.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
client satisfaction at the end of the day is why we're here.
yeah. Rahul, you attended the leadership course that we just finished with Tulsa Tech. It was 10 months, 10 modules. How did you like that training and what did come out of that? How do you use that at work?
Definitely. I really enjoy that course. Of course, for everybody, for me in particular, I have never known this about myself, but it was very engaging and fulfilling to know my personality type. But for me, what was more rewarding is I work in an office where I feel like we're all siblings. And the learning part for me was understanding everybody's personality and how to communicate with them and them understanding me in return. I believe that is one of the biggest reasons as to why we see such a great success in our sales office.
It's amazing. First of all, you have a great leader, and then all you guys gel very well.
We
And
do.
I can see the results are amazing.
Yes.
Not only the ownership is delighted about it, I think as a hotel, I'm very proud of what we're delivering to the city of Tulsa
Yes.
in revenues and in growth, and also to the ownership.
Of
So
course.
thank you for being on my team, and we really appreciate you, what you do on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. I am grateful for this opportunity. I'm looking forward for many more years to come.
Thank you. So, have you ever wondered about who is HR? What does HR do? And who's fielding our people who are applying for a job here? So, I welcome Tanya. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Tanya.
Hi, my name is Tanya Carlson. I am the HR director here. I love being in this environment. I love the level of enthusiasm that I think I bring to the environment.
So, Tanya, prior to being working at this hotel, I know you came from a different industry. How are we different in hospitality? And what have you noticed so far?
Oh, it's totally different. I was in a 9 to 5 cubicle position, so being just involved with people on a daily basis is totally different. And they're all different people. Every day you get something new, and I love that.
So, you're the first contact for a potential employee for us. Tell us how you make a difference and in the hiring process.
I absolutely love taking as much anxiety as I can out of somebody's first day at work. That is such a big deal for anybody. So, what I do is I take them around, I introduce them, I show them the whole property layout, how to even get into the door at the employee entrance. That alone just makes it so much easier to show up for work on the first day.
That's so well said, Tanya. It is really difficult. Sometimes people are so nervous about starting work somewhere. So tell me, how does your real role play into um, translating a potential employee to become a great, engaged employee during their term with us?
I get them after you guys have screened them, and everybody has been such a great judge of character. So I don't have much to have to struggle with on that point. They come to me, they're eager. It's easy to make them fit in because you guys have already fielded that
Mhm.
role. So just making them more relaxed, more comfortable, knowing that they're going to get along in that environment that we're going to put them in makes all the difference.
Yeah, that's very well said as well. Um, this place at work at the hotel is very different from your previous jobs, as you said. What's different about us and our culture and what you're creating also as part of us?
It's
Okay.
so different. A hotel has got so many moving parts, so many departments that just have to gel,
Mhm.
have to get along on a daily basis.
Mhm.
It's not just punch in, do your work, go home. Everything is different. Everything has to be done in a certain order, in a certain way, with a certain enthusiasm, and everybody brings that. It's so amazing to see that you can go to the kitchen, to the dishwashers, to housekeeping,
Mhm.
to the front desk, and it's just every time you go, it's like going into a different world.
Yeah, that's right. So, Tanya, how do you define success at this current role for yourself?
Learning and growing for me. It's every day I come to work, I get presented with something new that I have not encountered before, and I really have to think about what the best outcome was going to be from the situation to make everybody feel needed, important, and valued here at work.
Well, thank you for being on my team,
Thank
Tanya. We really
you.
appreciate you
Absolutely.
during this
Thank
role.
you.
Thank you so much. So, our next manager is Smrita Tandon. She's our banquet manager, deals with lots of conventions and lots of large groups, works very well with the kitchen and the chef. So, I'll let her introduce herself and give us a little bit more about what you do on a daily basis, Smrita.
Uh, I'm Smrita. I'm a banquet manager. I'm from India. And, we are always busy with the banquets, with the convention. So, I mean, there are days when we don't have time to breathe. It's like, back to back, being on the floor, and then still there's a lot to do.
So, Smrita, thank you for that. What brought you into hospitality and what made you stay? How long you've been in hospitality as well?
Well, not very long, but I would say six plus years I have been in hospitality. And what brought me happiness and then the pleasure of meeting so many new people, that makes me feel so happy. And then that's a new experience. I get to know more about people, from different part of this world.
And food is near and dear to everyone, and you're delivering food and you're delivering that service. Can you remember of a moment, a time that really stood out that became a great memory with you, with a client of
Yeah,
ours?
so I remember, I mean, I will not specify the group, but I remember that they requested a certain kind of meal, but they did not have any vegetarian or vegan options. And we talked to the client, and client said that, no, we don't have any special meal, so we have to serve regular meal to everyone. And once we started dropping the plates, and then we started getting like several requests for the vegetarian options and vegan options. And then that was the point I was like, what to do. But I had that patience and I went to chef and I talked to him and he said that we got that. And then, so we may served like, 20 plus plates.
Wow,
So that was a great experience and I cannot forget that group.
excellent. So, Smrita, what makes you proud of the current role that you play at the hotel?
So they anticipate in the to keep the client engaged,
Uh-huh.
and we can fulfill the client's demands, and we can keep our guest happy.
So, you've worked at different places, different hotels and stuff. How do you feel how we're different here at this property?
Culture, very much different from where I worked previously. Here I feel that we all are together, no issues, and even when we have something, we talk about it, and instead of getting uh, you know, uh, frustrated or irritated with each other, we just talk about it. We sort the problem out.
So the work environment is
Yes, work
different.
environment is amazing, very positive, and I feel that we all are very happy.
Excellent. So Smrita, in your current role, what does success sound to you?
Being a banquet manager, I have to make sure that I keep my team engaged. We work with sales hand in hand, and where I have to keep a control on my labor costs to maximize the revenue of our hotel.
Excellent. I know a lot goes behind the scenes, especially in your department, a lot of prep work and all that. Can you talk a little bit about the preparations before and after the events?
Yeah. So guest does not know that how much it takes for us to set up the event or set up the room. It takes so much hard work, to set up the entire thing, the tables, the chairs, the buffets, and then every little details.
Mhm.
Post event, uh, it's cleaning job,
Turning the rooms and
turning the
yeah,
rooms, flipping the rooms. Like last night, my guys were here until 4 a.m. And then, it was a huge event. And then, we flipped the entire room and make it fresh and look like new
yeah,
for the different group.
yeah.
So it takes a lot.
Smrita, thank you so much for being on my team. And I know it's really a lot of work that goes into the banquet. We're making progress, and I'm really proud of that.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
So our next associate is our financial controller. Name is Deborah Birchfield. Deborah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your role at the hotel and what's one of your important leadership traits that stands out?
Absolutely. So, in the accounting field, one thing that's exciting about that is that you're involved in every aspect of an organization because every aspect affects the revenue and expenses.
Mhm.
And so that's basically what we are doing is we're making sure that revenue is reported correctly, making sure that we have safeguards in place, and then using the expenses to again safeguard our revenue and to get a good outcome for not only ownership but for associates. And in the middle of all that, I guess that my greatest strength is positivity. I have a great hope in people, in activities, and in planning. And so I like to encourage people because I know that every one of our team members has a spark in them, they have a drive in them, and sometimes it just needs to be ignited. So encouraging them that they can be the best that they can be, that I believe in them.
Yeah. So optimism. That's what you
Yes,
want to
sir.
say, in other words. And I think that's the key characteristic of a successful leader is to look for that optimism
Yes,
and
sir.
to encourage that optimism and to breed that optimism to the most to the extent that he or she can take.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for that. That's really good. So Deborah, I remember that you came from a different industry.
Yes, sir.
Hospitality was totally new to you. Was that a good move for you? Did you are you enjoying what a big decision you took?
I love it.
You love
I
it?
absolutely love it. It is different when you are working at a place that never sleeps.
Mm.
The hotel is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
365 days a year.
Yes, that's right.
So that is a little different because there's always something going on. I love it for the excitement. I love it for the challenge. It's very different and coming in and learning all of the acronyms that hoteliers love so much and just learning the different way that the revenue bounces through the system and how to manage that. But even more than that, I love being a part of making people's dreams come true. And I think that's what we do here at the hotel.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you came to the hotel industry, one of the concerns and talks that was happening, would Deborah like this industry? Would it be something that she will gel in and fit in? And you've done an awesome job of fitting in and driving the vision that I was trying to shape, a few years ago.
Yes, sir.
So I'm really grateful for that, and that has really brought us forward.
Well,
We've
I'm
done a lot.
grateful to be a part of this amazing journey. and just watching things take off and soar.
Yeah,
It's very exciting.
exciting. Could you remember a moment specifically that you would like to share with us where your actions made a huge difference, whether it was for a guest or or any of our associates in any department?
Oh my goodness. Well, I do remember one time specifically, as the financial controller, I'm also supervise night audit, which can be
Challenging.
very challenging at
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
But so on occasion, I will come in quite early, maybe 5:30, and work with my night audit. And I was in one morning, and the phone rang about 5:45, and the night auditor answered it, and suddenly she looked at me and said, "They just whoever was on the phone said call 911 and hung up. What
Yeah.
should I do?" And I said, "Well, what room was it?" And she told me. I said, "Call 911." And I got security and went up there, and it was an elderly gentleman that was having a heart situation. And so I just sat with him and prepared his medication to take with him, made sure he had everything he needed, and just really visited with him to put him in a calm state of mind, walked down with him with the ambulance and saw him on his way. And then a few days later, he came back and saw me behind the front desk, and he said, "You're the woman that saved my life." I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't
Yeah.
save your life, but just the fact that I could be there when he was scared
Yeah.
in a different city without his family close by, knowing that somebody was there that cared for him, that makes a huge difference to people
Absolutely.
when they're going through something."
Absolutely. Deborah, you've been looking at our growth for the last few years, comparing the numbers and all that. There's no doubt that we have grown.
Yes, sir.
What do you think really contributed to that growth besides the hard work that the team has put in? How much of the culture has to do with it? How much is the efforts of the sales department has to do with it? And how much is your role in particular, has to do with it when a team comes to controlling costs, managing efficiencies, and creating those SOPs, putting them in place that helps us be more profitable for the ownership?
Oh, absolutely. I think the number one thing is the team itself. And we can say the sales department, operations, or whatever, but watching the whole team come together as one, because the sales department could sell all day long. If we don't deliver, it really doesn't do us any good at all. And so watching everyone come together and work to the utmost of their ability, I think, is number one. Number two, relationships. We have built relationships with the people that we rent to, that come in for events. And so they know what to expect. They know that they can come to us with their concerns and that we will be available to them. As far as policies and procedures, I think when I first came, we were lacking in that quite a bit. And so putting that in place, and I could see that you could see that they would understand immediately. Oh, why haven't we always been doing this? I don't know why we haven't always been doing this, but this is the right way to account for revenue. This is a safeguard in how we take money or how we disperse money, and really watching our expenses. I think everybody is on board with that, but we always look to how can we best take care of the property? How can we take care of the asset? Because without that, we won't be here next week to sell this beautiful space. And so everybody's mindset is on what is a good investment. And so I think that in itself is huge.
So conducive to change. That's number one. What you
Yes.
said.
Yes.
The second thing is differentiating between what you need versus what you want.
Yes.
That's the second
Yes.
thing. And the third thing, coming back to your emphasis on team and relationships and a work culture and environment that fosters that kind of growth and embodies that relationship
Yes.
building that got us here. And you're a big catalyst to all of that, Deborah. And
Well,
I really want to thank
I'm
you
a
for
small cog in the engine, but I love it.
that. I think your contributions are there and they're very visible. And we're very grateful to have you on the team, especially the last 2 years have been absolutely wonderful for the hotel, and our growth has been amazing.
Yes, it
Everybody,
has.
everybody can notice that, and the ownership really truly appreciates it as well.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. For
Thank
being
you,
with us.
Robbie. Thank you.
So let's introduce one of the familiar faces you probably have at the front desk. You've seen often is Mr. Ray Wilkins. Ray, go ahead, introduce yourself, talk about your role a little bit, and tell us what's one of your famous or biggest traits that you bring to the team.
Well, my name is Ray Wilkins. I am the front office manager here at the Tulsa Marriott Southern Hills. And I believe that one thing bring with my skill set to the team is the sense of joy and compassion for what we do. Uh, that's not really something you can train. You have to have that.
Yeah,
And I feel like our team embodies that. And it's for me, it's especially great to see when they take after the initiative I give for that kind of joy in your job.
that's awesome. You know, one of the things that I've always wanted to ask operations people is, you get into the hospitality and then sometimes you sit back and think, oh, is this the right decision I made or should I have ventured into something else? Did you ever ponder on that? Or did you ever think that that was something that could occur to you at some point?
Absolutely. I think everybody at one point questions the choices that they made to where they are, if that was the right choice. But I had that same conversation with myself, and I think I answered it almost instantaneously. Is this is where I want to be?
Yeah,
This is what I love to do. I love making people happy. I love embodying the culture that we have here and living it firsthand every day. So I have no doubt that this is where I'm supposed to be.
that's where you want to be. That's great. So, can you remember a moment in your lifespan with hospitality that you made a difference, it stood out, and it impacted even the life of an associate, a colleague, or even a guest, or somebody else in some other department?
Um, I think there was a time I was working at another Marriott property, and we had a guest who had a newborn child,
Mhm.
and first time traveling with the newborn child, so that was very intense for her. And I remember talking to her, and we set up extra amenities for her. We went and got a diaper bag. We went and got some extra essentials for a new mother,
Oh,
and we sent them up to her room and just said, "A gift from the Marriott. Congratulations on your newborn."
hmm,
And she was so overwhelmed by that little act of kindness that she made that her only go-to then forward.
wow.
She never went anywhere else, even places that were cheaper or a little bit closer to where she was going.
Yeah.
She always stayed at that Marriott property.
What a nice touch. And I'm sure it made her feel so good. That's amazing. Um, you've worked at different hotels and a different industry prior to coming into the hotel business. How is our culture different from what you have been exposed to before?
Well, that's a loaded question, Ravi.
Okay.
This property, I've been in hotels for 10 years, and this culture at this property, the sense of family is not exactly the right word. It's not just a family. We are a single unit where everyone has to work together. And if a single person is not in sync or is not holding their own, it can put the entire team at jeopardy. And we all know this. And being able to have that kind of focus and having that sense of unity, but also with the adornment of a loving family who cares for one another, who want to see each other succeed, whether it's in the role they're in or maybe at another property, the growth that we encourage for each other and the celebrations that we for each victory that all of us have. It's not something I've had in other properties, not to this degree. And that's what I value the most is being able to have those moments with each other and truly embody the sense of camaraderie that we have.
Excellent. Um, you know, everybody has some personal goals and they're passionate about outside of work. What's your goals? What are you most passionate about that also helps you at your work as well?
Well, outside of work, I do a lot of nonprofit work, do a lot of volunteering and charity work. For me, it's about community. It's about giving back to a community in need. And that's something that this property that we do, we have our care committee, and that feeds into that for me. And knowing that you make a difference in someone else's life, even the most simplest of acts, is enough to motivate you to want to do it more and not just once or twice, but almost on a daily. And that's things that I love to do, and I love that that kind of bleeds into my work life too. That's something we can do here at the property level with our associates, with our community, and with other organizations too, and partner with them.
So, as a GM, I take quite a bit of pride in the success that we have achieved over the last 4 years. What's success mean to you personally at this hotel in your job?
Oh gosh, so success for me, it is about not just achieving the common goal, but to see that others thrive in roles that they may not feel confident in yet, um, especially if it's something that's outside their comfort zone. This podcast is a great example. This is something very new to many associates, and getting to see them go through it and to establish that new part of their role, where this is going to be something that we're expecting to carry forward, or we're hoping to carry forward, and being able to rise to that challenge and meet it and not shy away from it, I feel is a very great asset of success.
Very good. What do you see? How do you see yourself 3, 4, 5 years out in this current role that you are, and how do you see yourself progressing in
Well, I'm
this?
not gunning for your job just yet, sir, but eventually, what I would love to see for myself, I've always envisioned a position where I travel with for hotels, where I get to go to properties that could do a little bit of um, revamping, finding what's not working and fixing it, making that property successful, and maybe bringing some of the culture that you've inspired with me to those properties, and get them on the level they need to be at. That's long term goal for me, is
Yeah,
to be at that level.
it's a great goal because people or management companies, hotel owners do need people who are able to travel as regional managers, train the GMs, grow the teams, be responsible and hold them accountable for growth and take certain initiatives that will help them. I just want you to know, Ray, that things have really changed since you've joined at the front desk, and you've trained a lot of people. They've developed a lot of trust and respect for you. This is what I expected you to do, and I'm so grateful that you're able to deliver on that. And we're also very, very fortunate that you're working hard on your next role to become an ops manager at the hotel and take over more initiatives pertaining to Marriott projects, pertaining to some other projects that come in from time to time, and help someone else take over your role and grow them into it. So thank you again for what you do. Really appreciate it. And I hope you continue to enjoy your work
I do,
with
and I
us.
and I thank you, Ravi, for the opportunities that you've given me, and not just me, but the team. And it is very much appreciated for all that you do for us. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy to introduce our next superstar, also in sales, Noelle Gamble. She's our event sales manager. Noelle, talk to us a little bit about your role. When did you join us? And what's the one great trait of yours that you bring to the team?
Hi, my name is Noelle Gamble, event service manager, and I have been at Tulsa Marriott Southern Hills for a little over a year. And I've been in hospitality as a whole for almost 4 years.
Great, Noelle. That's awesome. Good. We're so happy to have you join the team. And um, when did you start with in hospitality, and why did you choose this field? Well,
Absolutely. So I used to work with primarily children at summer camps and more kids entertainment. So
mhm.
still on the event side, and was looking for something a little bit more stable, but also still very unique in
Yeah,
that hospitality in being in a hotel there's stability, but then every day every week is different, and I meet so many new people, but then also have the support of the team as a whole that I did not have previously. So I started in hospitality almost 4 years ago at another hotel here in Tulsa, and then learned from there, got into CI and started delving into that system,
sure.
and got very confident in how that whole program works,
Hmm.
and started working on my skills as a sales manager. And so when I was able to move to this property, stepping into and continuing to learn the sales
Side of
side of events.
Yeah. And now you, with your current role, you're also doing sales, but you're also servicing
Mhm.
larger events and contracts for the whole department.
Yes,
How's that
absolutely.
experience, and what's the difference?
So the difference would be that not only do I get to service the events, large and small,
Mhm.
with room blocks and without, I get to kind of see both worlds, and I get to be there from the start to finish of an event, and then also inviting them to come back. Whereas I kind of took over, and there was a lot of at a previous hotel being just event manager. I would just take over after the contract is signed, and so I actually get a lot of self confidence and self pride, being able to see it from the very first phone call, and they're trying to get a little bit more information to the first site visit, and then taking it all the way to the post con of how everything ran smoothly and what we may need to improve when they return the following year.
So, from a new contract perspective, talk to me a little bit about uh, food tasting. You know,
Mhm.
how excited they are to come and do the food tasting, kind of approve. The chef's gets involved with you
Yeah.
and the client at the same time, and that helps you in the closure of that contract.
Yeah,
Let's talk a
absolutely.
little bit about that process and how you facilitate all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first step is going to be asking them what they've had in the past and what went well, what didn't go well, and then what type of maybe cultures they'd like to pull from, what types of um, you know experiences are they and their guests looking for, and
Sure.
then taking all of that information, including what's the age range of the guests that are going to be there, how many times have they been at this property, or is this the first time that they've had this event, because you kind of want to get the history so that the
Sure.
chef can show their creativity, pull some things that they like off of our current catering
Sure.
menu, but really it's about him being able to present what we can deliver.
And being creative with them,
Absolutely.
basically meeting them the requirements that they have
Hmm.
for their
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
their
And it
expectations.
goes into, maybe they have an extensive list of dietary restrictions. And
Yeah.
so they want to make sure that all of their attendees are going to be well taken care of. And so that gives the us and the chef an opportunity to show them, yes, we will take this very seriously. We will respect all of your guests, no matter what dietary restrictions they have or allergies. And we're going to make sure that everybody is safe and enjoys their experience.
What makes you proud of the role that you're currently doing for the hotel?
I am very proud that I'm basically the bridge between, not basically, it's very it's
Importantly, you
very
are.
important.
Yeah.
But I am the bridge between the meeting planner and the hotel operations. So I do have to look forward of what's going to be coming down, what event are we having right before this one, so that
Mhm.
our room turns are as efficient as they can be. Making sure that loading docks are clear, and so kind of looking at it from all angles to make
Flow,
sure.
the flow of things.
Right. To
Yeah.
make sure that the front desk has all of the information that they need. Same thing as banquets and the chef. So I take pride in that I can kind of see a little bit more
Mhm.
and get that information to them without them having to wait for it, and being as efficient and strategic as possible.
So you've worked at other hotels. You've also worked in the other industries. What's a few things that you like about our hotel here and about our team and specifically our culture, so
Yeah,
to speak?
absolutely. I have never been in a position where I am welcome at the table and I'm able to be heard if when I have an opinion, and um, you know s- I may not be privy to all the decisions because of my position, but in some cases yourself and Rochelle very open in the communication and what would directly affect us, and also knowing what vision and the trajectory that we're on. It feels like I'm supported whenever I do need some assistance during the busy times. So I feel very supported here at this hotel that I might not have felt in another industry. Um, and then I also just enjoy the culture of the entire hotel and being part of the team. If something is in need, we all jump in so quickly and we don't hesitate to help out another colleague.
So isn't consensus building a nice thing to have?
It
It
is,
is.
absolutely.
I
you get
thought you
every
would think so.
you get everybody's skills and strengths and putting them all together to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward.
Sure. Excellent. So you work well with banquets, you work well with the chef, you work well with all other departments, including the front desk. Is there any hurdles that you see that you had trouble overcoming, that you really had to work twice as hard to get through?
None that stand out in something that I'd be like, man, that was
Yeah.
big. I really, but I would say there's always different members of the team that maybe I don't see very often, specifically engineering. I might
Yeah.
call them up when I have a temperature change, but then there's also projects that I would want to work with engineering for, or we have an event coming up. And I think my goal with them is just to get to know the engineering team a little bit more because I might not be as forward facing or as consistently seeing them. So that would be one department that I have progress to have.
Yeah. And all I want you to know that we're so proud to have you on the team. I think the current sales team is so set, and your addition was really a great welcome.
Thank
And
you.
I really appreciate you what you're doing. Your contributions are not unnoticed. I can tell you that. And I think you have a very bright future with us, and hope you continue to put in your best foot out there.
Thank you very much, Robbie. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm delighted to introduce Carly McCammon. Uh, she came to us working in operations and then has moved on to sales for over a year. Carly, why don't you talk a little bit more about yourself and what do you bring to the team?
My name's Carly McCammon, Senior Sales Manager here at Marriott Tulsa Southern Hills. I've been here a little over 3 years, started in operations because that's my background in hospitality, and then I jumped up to sales, and I think I bring a little something to that role, just knowing the how the sauce is made kind of from operations.
That's really great, Carly. I think your personality really suits for the sales, and I'm so delighted you're in the department now. I also remember you moved from a large full service Marriott property from Colorado. Is that was your first job in hospitality? How did you get into hospitality, and what kept you here?
Yeah, well, I actually walked into that large hotel in Colorado after 6 years of being in restaurant and catering. So I was just kind of seeking to get the onion smell off my clothing, but I
Yeah,
didn't. Still had that heart for service.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
really just looking for a more refined luxury product to kind of sell and get away from burgers and sandwiches. And I wanted a role at the front desk. I wanted to be people's warm welcome, their guide to the city. But then I got into hospitality and realized you actually wear a lot more hats than
Yeah.
just that, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, is there a particular moment or story that really stands out in your career in hospitality that you'd like to share briefly?
I've got a couple,
Yeah.
but I guess I have a couple different buy-in moments for me. One would be one that actually happened here when I was in operations. A guest had lost a ring, and it was a family heirloom. I didn't know that. I found a ring, and I worked to find its owner. We ended up figuring out which guest it was by where it was left, contacting them, shipping it out to them, returning them. And then they sent a postcard to the hotel
Oh,
thanking
okay.
us for returning it and the story of what the ring meant to them. And that was my moment. Like, I can impact these guests.
Such a fulfilling moment it is.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Um, in your current role at the hotel, what's makes you happy every day? What you're doing? How do you engage with your fellow sales managers and the team to deliver results?
I, so many things make me happy. First of all, collaborating with the team to learn about what works and what doesn't work, so that way I can express that to the client to, fulfill the ultimate goal of producing an event that is going to be not only profitable for the hotel, but exactly what that client was expecting. Right. So we have an amazing sales team where everyone is just so skilled and tenured. And I pick their brains and we pick each other's brains, and having a collaborative environment where we can work together to provide better services, better amenities, better accommodations for our guests is vital in this industry.
And you touched on a great point, picking their brain. Isn't that something special that we really have in our team? That we can collaborate, we can talk, and we can come to a conclusion together and develop a consensus on how to operate a particular client that has brought a lot of success.
Oh,
Would you agree to that?
I 100% agree. I think
Yeah.
it's just a testament or a side effect to the culture that you've created here. You've brought everyone to the table
Yeah.
and have an open door policy. So all of our ideas can be explored, and that just makes us stronger as a team when we work together and everyone's voice is heard.
So, is there a personal goal that you're working towards, Carly, and how does this job help you achieve that personal goal?
Yeah, I'm a young mother of two kids, so my biggest goal is setting a good example for them, right? I want to show them that life is hard. Things are hard. You're going to face many challenges, but the strength to rise up to those challenges and make it happen is always within you. And this position is very unique because it gives me the opportunity to face a very large variety of challenges,
Mhm.
and it helps me set the example for my children. And that's kind of finding that balance between work and life
Yeah,
and all of that and how it correlates really helps me in the
absolutely.
process.
Success. How do you define that in your current role?
I think it's easy to define a sales manager's success on, how many contracts I've signed, how much revenue is coming in. But those aren't moments for me where I'm like, oh, I'm successful. Moments for me when I feel really successful is when I see the result, right? When I see a happy client, when I get happy feedback, when I say, we didn't think this was possible here. Thanks for making this possible. Or we didn't we didn't expect it to go this well. So that end result where the client is just super happy, it's everything you said it was going to be. The team has delivered beyond their expectations. That's success to me.
Carly, I must mention that besides your role in sales and helping us in operations from time to time, you've also taken a lot of initiative to help us with some marketing initiatives as well. And I'm very grateful for that. I think we've achieved a lot more success with the effort that you put in. You've been a great asset to the team. Keep up the good work. And I'm so glad you're here with us on the team as well.
Well, thank you. I'm just glad that you give your staff members opportunity to try new things. If you find a skill that they want to try or they might have some experience in, you create that chance to try out those skills, work it out. And I mean, marketing is definitely something that I've done in the past, and I enjoy just showcasing our hotel and the amenities we have to offer for guests that are just coming for the weekend or maybe for a week-long conference. I want to get the word out here that this is the place to stay.
Thank you again, Carly. Thank you for being on our sales team. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
love being here.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy getting to know the amazing people who make everything possible. In the next episode, we'll introduce you to our incredible French intern, Marie, and her journey with us. Until then, thanks for checking in with us.